AI has gotten to a point where you don't need to know how to code. You just need to know what you want. Claude Code is an AI that doesn't just give you advice. It actually opens your files, it writes things, and it builds things on your computer. It's to a point where you can make your own games, you can start your own business, you can automate your work tasks just with a single prompt. And in this video, I'll show you how to do all of that without writing a single line of code. Alright, before we go into what is an AI, let's talk about why should you use Claude Code and why is Claude Code different from normal AIs like ChatGPT or Gemini or just a normal Claude app. We can imagine this analogy, okay? So imagine you're hiring an incredibly smart employee. You ask them, hey, how do I write a professional email? And they would tell you. That is what normal AI does, like ChatGPT. They just answer your questions. Or you could ask them, write me the email, look over it for me, open my computer, open my Gmail, and send this email for me. And then monitor it after, and then tell me when they reply. That is Claude Code. It's different. One of them just gives you the answers and advice. The other one actually does it for you. So now let's move on to what exactly is AI. Just a quick 30-second version. AI stands for artificial intelligence, but that sounds complicated. So here's what it actually is. It's more of a computer program that learned by reading a large amount of text like books, website articles, and it's all trained on it, and code as well. Basically the entire internet, imagine your Google search bar, all compacted into a single prompt. Because it reads so much, it has a really good understanding at language and predicting what comes next and understanding patterns. So when you type in a message, it doesn't think like a human does. It matches based on patterns on everything it has read. But it's so good at this pattern thinking that it actually feels like it's thinking like a human. We can think of AI as more of a person who has spent 10 years doing absolutely nothing but reading every book, article, and website ever written in history. They didn't go to school or have real experiences or have friends. They just read. So they know a lot. They have a lot of knowledge inside of them. But they learned it all from the texts, not from living in them. So we can move on to exactly what is Claude Code and how does it differ from Claude.ai, the web version. We see that Claude AI gives advice, but while Claude Code does work like I said before. Claude AI is a chat website that you open in your browser. It can do nothing more than that. It answers questions and gives advice. It can also generate some like easy files, like maybe some basic HTML, like basic animations. Claude.ai is just like any other website, any other AI. But on the other hand, Claude Code is a tool that runs inside a program that is located on your computer. It can open your files, it can create things, and it builds for real. But you may think that like, oh, isn't this unsafe? Like I have passwords saved, I have secure stuff saved on your computer. Well, I'll get into that later. There's safeguards to help prevent Claude from accessing these. And we'll be using a software called VS Code. It's all free. I'll show you how to download it soon. And we can move on to the setup. So first, you need a computer. A laptop, Windows, Mac, doesn't matter. And VS Code. I'll show you how to download it and set everything up a little bit later. And you need an Anthropic account. You're just free to sign up at anthropic.com. You can get the Pro plan, which is I think only about $28 a month or something. And it goes a very long way, especially when you're learning. So now I'm going to show you guys just a quick demo, like a quick demonstration of what could be achieved at the end. So this is my directory that I have currently with the claude.md file, which I'll tell you what that is after. And we have all the other files. But right now, let's just say I want to make a game. Let's say I want to make, I don't know, a chess game. It'd be like, hey Claude, make me a chess game. But instead of normal chess characters. I would like, I don't know, characters from Star Wars. We'll just let this run for a bit. Get back to you when it's done. Alright, so after around 10-ish minutes, this is what it came up with. Just with one very simple prompt, one very simple sentence. So I haven't tested it yet. Let's give it a try. So we see we have like the nice theme. We can see Empire skill. Well, I'm not the best at chess, so we could try Padawan, and we'll just play against it. Yeah. So we load into the screen. The rebellion versus the empire. Sound on. We can undo new game. We can go back to the menu. Okay, it's my move. The rebels you can see are the pawns. The falcons are the rook, I think. And we have, yeah. So I'm on the rebellion side, and the sound is on. We'll turn the sound up a little bit. So let's go here, and we can see everything comes up. Everything's good. And we're gonna move up here. Move like this. I don't know. I'm just gonna move it here. I'm just gonna take this guy. Let's see if it makes a sound. It takes. Move over here. He's gonna take this, or not. But I never played chess before, so this is like crazy work. Like this took Claude 10 minutes to spin up with no mistakes. This would have taken someone hours to make. You've seen an example of what is possible with Claude Code. We'll move on to the next step of actually installing it. So, like I said before, you need a computer, you need VS Code, and you need an Anthropic account. So, first we need VS Code. But what is VS Code first? VS Code is more of a free program that's made by Microsoft. You can think of it more like Microsoft Word, but instead of it having to write documents, it's more designed for working with files and folders right on your computer. I'll show you later. It shows all your files on the left, lets you open, edit them, and there's a panel, there's a big screen on the right where the Claude Code lives. The analogy that is given usually is VS Code is like a cockpit. You're not a pilot yet, but Claude Code is the autopilot. The cockpit is just where you sit to give it instructions and watch what it does. So, how do we install? So you go to VS Code's website, code.visualstudiocode.com, and if you're using Windows, I'm using Windows, so you download for Windows, and you would download the newest release version. You see it's downloading right here. You download the newest release version. Once that's done, you would open it up on your desktop, then you would see this. This is the Visual Studio Code welcome page. This is what you would see first. Ignore these two, this Claude Code thing on the side. You won't see this yet. So that actually takes us to the next step, where you have to download an extension for VS Code. Well, what is an extension? Well, if you pull open this left sidebar right here, you can see that there's your Explorer right here where you'll see all your files. Currently we have no files, but we can always add a new file. We name it test. You see, this is where all your files live. And then we have a search bar. We can search for anything you would like. Then we have the extensions, where it's like the extensions on Google, like ad blockers and stuff like that. It's kind of like that. So the next step would be to search up Claude Code on your extensions. I already have it downloaded, but let's say you don't. You would click install here, and then you would reload your entire VS Code. After that, you should see this little button pop up here. If you click on it, you click new session, we have Claude Code right here. So we have this panel right here, and then we have Claude Code's panel over here. So what's the next step after this? I'm already logged into my Claude Code right here. As you can see, I can type and everything. But you guys won't be logged in. So what you need to do is you need to create an Anthropic account first. Well, how do we do that? If you go to claude.com/pricing, you need one of these either a pro plan or a max plan. The free plan does not give you Claude Code access. So you need to either get pro for around $23 a month or Claude Max. And once you've paid, logged in on here, there'll be a login prompt here, and then it'll take you through the steps of logging into your Claude Code. Now, the most important step is your project folder. This is the most critical step because Claude Code works inside a folder in your computer, and that folder is its whole world. That's all it knows. It can see everything inside. It knows it better than you do. It reads files in it, it creates new files in it, it edits things in it, but it cannot see anything outside that folder. That's what's good. So your passwords and your things outside this folder, Claude Code cannot see it. So Claude Code only lives in this folder. All right, now we move on to the most important, in my opinion, the most important part that you have to understand in Claude Code. That is Claude.md. This is your project's instruction sheet. This tells Claude what to do, how to do it, and how to edit it. This is Claude's brain. This is where you can customize Claude Code to write on how you want to write it, or do tasks a certain way. Like it says, by default, Claude Code starts fresh every session, which means that like if you click a new session or a new chat, it forgets everything that it learned from previous chats. So in order to have Claude Code know what it's talking about and know what it's doing and remember everything, we have to use Claude.md. It's a file in your project folder like I described before. So it's a file in your folder that Claude automatically reads at the start of every conversation. You don't have to say like, hey Claude, read this. It automatically will read Claude.md. So if we go back to VS Code, we can create a Claude.md. We'll just remove this file real quick. And let's add a Claude.md. Make sure it should be all capitals. Claude.md file. And this is what Claude will read at the start of every chat. Now, the instructions is not coding. You need Claude to be specific. So, your prompts can't be too vague, like make me a website. Claude doesn't know the colors, what it should say, what the website is about, what it should do. You'll get something like basic and very AI generated that looks terrible. But if you know exactly what you want, like I said before, Claude Code is only useful when you know exactly what you want. I want to create a one-page website, dark blue background, white text that says welcome to my portfolio in large letters in the center. Below that, an orange button that says contact me. Now Claude Code builds it right, builds it how you want it to build. Now, when Claude works, you can see every step of the way. We have read files, write files, search, and run commands. You don't have to approve anything, you can just watch it work. And I'll just show you that real quick. So if we go back, we can say, hey Claude, hi Claude, make me a website. Now, this is very generic, right? We see there are different modes here below. Right now it's on auto mode, but if you don't really know what you want yet, like you have a rough idea, like you know you want a website, but I don't know what should be on this website, what color should it be, what pictures, what functions, then you would go plan mode. This will prevent Claude from editing anything without your permission, and it'll also plan out with you. So if we send Claude this prompt, we see it's thinking. We see that it's using these skills like glob, read. It's reading the Claude.md file, which is empty currently. See, and Claude is nailing down exactly what we want. And then it'll ask us questions. What is this website for? YouTube channel. What should it look like in field? I don't know. Let's do you decide. How should it be built? You decide. Now, let's look at some of the other modes here. We have the manual mode, where Claude will ask for your approval before making each edit. Now, this bypass permissions mode, I highly suggest you guys not use it because it basically gives Claude all permissions to edit without having to ask you, which can be potentially dangerous. So, when you're building, you either want it on plan mode, auto mode, or edit automatically. And auto mode, I usually just keep it on auto mode. It's safe. Claude will approve actions that pass a safety check and will pause for anything risky. So I usually keep it on auto mode, so just so that it doesn't make crazy edits that I didn't authorize. Now, we see that we have a Claude.md file, but there's nothing in it. So how do we get it started? Well, there's actually this neat command in Claude Code. If you go / and you go init, it'll actually create everything for you. Just a very basic structure. So this is all you guys need right now, just to create a Claude.md file. So it'll analyze your files, create an MD file, and then see there's all these type of commands, bash commands. It's running all these tools. Now while we wait for it to write our Claude code, we can make sure that you always verify before you move on to the next step. Open the file it created, okay? Does it look like what you asked for? Because Claude Code is still AI, it can still make mistakes. So don't just assume it's right because Claude said it was. Look through it. If it built a web page, open it into a browser. Does it look like how you want it? If not, tell Claude. Tell Claude exactly. Be specific. Know what you want. Don't just say, the button is too small, like here. Say which button is too small, and then Claude will fix it immediately. Multiple rounds is normal. Even I'm pretty experienced, go back and forth several times like, hey Claude, I don't like this. Hey Claude, can you do this? I don't really like this here. Can you move it over here? That's really how it works, and it's not a mistake. And there'll be tools and skills that we add onto Claude where it helps minimize these things. And Claude starts memorizing and starts recognizing patterns that you starts learning in like a loop. It starts getting better and better because it starts learning about you and what you prefer. Now let's go back to see if a Claude.md file's created. So it's empty. So it needs to ask me a question. Just do a new project. And then it can't input anything from any code because we have no folders. So it's going to tell us a bit about, it's going to ask us, well, what is Ambrosia YouTube? We can say, hey Claude, Ambrosia is a YouTube channel to help young people realize and learn such powerful tool that many people don't know. Now, tech stack. Let's say we want to, I don't know, have it send automated emails, or yeah, send automated emails, check your email. So tech stack, I use Gmail and that's it. Well, I usually just check it myself manually and stuff like that. See, just basic words and Claude will make you a Claude.md. Now it's done thinking and it says, okay, what is worth having a short project, so instantly knows what Ambrosia AI is. So now it's reading the file and then it's writing in this file. We see these tools being used. It's now writing in the MD file. Now it's done creating it. If we go back to the Claude.md file, we see we have Claude.md. What is this file? What it is, how this works, how Claude can help, and the note. This is the most basic structure for a Claude.md file, and it works. It works very well. Now, this is the file that Claude will read at the start of every session. So if I start a new session, it'll automatically read everything here. The tools, the workflows, who I am, how Claude can help me. So now, Claude doesn't have to recall all the memories from past sessions. It can just read this one file and know exactly what you want, how you prefer things to be built. So now, learning Claude Code is not about learning to code. It's about learning how to direct AI and how to tell AI exactly what you want. You're like a movie director now. Camera or do the makeup. You tell people what you want and they do it for you. You're the big boss. Now, your job is to know exactly what you want. Be specific on what you want. Describe it clearly and review it when it comes back, and then this is just a loop. And then sometimes, most times, there'll be things that could be done better or you're not so happy about. You give feedback until it's just right. That's it. That's just the skill. Getting better at Claude Code means getting better at just those 4 things. Describing the problems clearly. They're describing what you want clearly. Now, this is so powerful. What you can build without any coding knowledge. You can build a website. You can build an automated file organization system. You can build a spreadsheet that does calculations for you in 2 minutes, while you could have built it yourself in 30 minutes. It's any simple tools for your businesses. Anything that involves files, text, basic web pages. And this is just beginner. All you have to know is what you want. Describe it clearly, review what comes back, and you give feedback until it's right. If you know how to do these 4 things, you can do all of those things. And you didn't need to know how any of that works. You just need to know exactly what you wanted. And that's what makes this different. AI can't really take away from the needs of the humans. It just changes what skill matters. Coding doesn't really play a big part into this anymore. The skill that matters more is now knowing what to build and how to ask for it. And that's it. I hope you guys learned a lot more, and in future videos I'll go more in depth for different skills and tips and tricks for more advanced Claude code. Alright, that's it guys. Take care.